Hey, how you doing today? It's Nancy Laura here, and today I want to talk to you about how to banish self-sabotage and live your most authentic life. How to banish self-sabotage. It's a really sticky wicket, that's for sure. I say that because we don't even really know we're doing it. Many times we're too busy blaming the other people for what happens to us when all we need to do is look in the mirror to find the culprit. When I realized that I'm the only person responsible for anything good or bad that happens in my life, there were two trains of thought running through my brain. They kind of went like this. Number one, it was seriously? There's no way that I did that to myself. There has to be an exception to the rule. I, I can't believe that I'm responsible for that. And then now the other one is seriously? If I'm responsible for all my actions, then I better rethink my life strategy and my attachments to my outcome. Guess which statement is more empowering. With that being said, if you're like me, once you're aware of this realization, it's time to go to work on yourself and look for all the clues so that you can banish self sabotage and live your most authentic life. But we mess up things for ourselves in other ways too, and for other reasons, which include our attachment to failure. Maybe we're so used to situations not working out or being around dysfunctional people that it feels easier to mess up a good thing by behaving in some way that either worsens or destroys something promising. The control freak in us starts to come out. If we feel something is bound to fail because it's too good to be true, we might create failure somehow so as to maintain a sense that we're still in control. As crazy as that sounds, we do that. Sometimes we feel undeserving. Low self esteem might drive people to feel that they don't deserve success or happiness. Bad habits like excessive drinking, smoking, or uncontrolled anger. And here's a good one, addicted to the drama. It might be an otherwise perfect, sunny, beautiful afternoon, and out of the blue, you might create a disagreement with someone or get cranky or drag up some unrelated issue from the past. Suddenly, the afternoon turns into a battleground. The desire for drama can take different forms, and not all of them are constructive. But surely, if we knew we were doing this, we wouldn't do it, right? So, are we doing this unconsciously? People seldom mean to sabotage themselves. It's generally a conscious decision to spoil things, and that's a real problem. We can be left with the feeling, why did I do that? Many of our emotional drivers remain unconscious, and that's why chronic self saboteurs will often try to justify, to explain why they had to yell at their professor and get kicked off the course, or break contact with a friend who's about to get him a great job, or end a promising relationship. Or early learning, or should I say mislearning, can create the habit of self sabotage, and things going right might seem like a really scary and unfamiliar territory. Okay. So the need for conflict is sometimes real true. The problem is really real. Okay. So if you're prone to this sort of behavior, these 5 tips I'm going to give you can really help you. Just be of good cheer because you could change it. Okay. First of all, take notice of yourself. Forget justifying why you did or didn't do this or that. Just watch yourself. The adage, don't listen to what people say, but watch what they do to see what they're really like, can be applied to yourself equally well. Imagine you're someone someone else's whose behavior you're watching. Ask yourself, what did I do there? What was driving it? Was it fear? Was it spite? Was it the need to be in control? Even control is related to making things fail. Was it the need for excitement through conflict, or the desire for attention through sympathy? I have a friend that realized he had been unconsciously reluctant to earn more than his father had done when he was alive. It was almost like he couldn't betray him by being better off than he had been. That realization helped him overcome the limiting belief. Once he had observed it operating with himself, he decided to actually ignore it until the old compulsion not to succeed became just a faint whisper. Then it died away altogether. What do you sabotage, and how do you sabotage it? Become familiar with this pattern. Seeing your own behavior more clearly has nothing to do with going overboard with self-blame, but rather being more objective. Okay, number 2, remember that success isn't all or nothing. In your mind, strongly imagine, and I would highly recommend getting into the habit of strongly imagining all the time, what true success will be like for you, because it might be different from what you've been unconsciously assuming. Successful relationships, for example, don't work well all the time, and earning good money doesn't solve all problems. Success isn't all or nothing, it's all relative. So remember that becoming successful in whatever way won't feel strange when it happens, because it's a natural part of being human. But the idea of success might feel strange. Number 3, don't strive for absolute perfection. People often self-sabotage because of perfectionism. If it isn't perfect, then what's the point? You might have heard you may have heard about recent research which shows that people on strict diets trying to lose weight will likely more overeat if they feel they veered off from their diet even slightly. What the hell, I've blown it now. I might as well completely binge is sometimes the attitude. People not on diets don't do this so much. So if you have a little setback or a mini failure, consciously stop yourself from throwing it all away and seeing the whole thing is just ruined and then really ruining it. Okay. Number 4, it's not all about you. Most of us don't like to consider ourselves as selfish, but it is also true to say, and not from a judgmental perspective, more from an observational perspective, that self-sabotage ruins stuff for others and therefore is a selfish behavior. People so often deny they're behaving selfishly because they don't intend to be selfish. But behavior is behavior. So the person who feels compelled to end a great relationship hurts another. The coworker who sabotages a project screws it up for everyone else. The father who sabotages financial opportunities ruins it for the whole family. Okay, and so on. Once we get into the habit of seeing the needs of the bigger picture rather than just our own emotional impulses, it actually becomes harder to sabotage situations. And number 5, be open to possibilities. All of life is an exploration. Of course, if something really isn't working or is genuinely isn't for you, that's okay. But if it's really a reluctance to explore life and to experience the good and healthy, then it's an area that needs some self-work, okay? By really stepping back and observing a situation that arises in your life, and if it kicks up some emotions that stimulates reaction, choose another outcome, okay? You're on the road to learning to banish self-sabotage and living your most authentic life by paying attention to those 5 bullet points, okay? Hey, thanks for checking out my post. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to connect with me on social media. www.nancylore.com is my blog page. And remember, you are wonderful beyond comparison. Have a great one. See you next time.